From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
You use the law unconstitutionally to go after the press.
The Arizona House floor is open to the media again after recently instituted background checks kept many away.
Let me be clear. I do not want, nor will I accept the nomination for our party.
The Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, making it known today that he is not interested in joining the race for the White House.
And Phoenix is set to become one of the first cities to implement a program aimed at getting kids off the couch.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Ben Marjat.
And I'm Alexis Solari. Thanks for joining us. Today, journalists are allowed back on the chamber floor at the Arizona House of Representatives.
This comes 5 days after the Speaker of Arizona's House, David Gowan, banned reporters from the floor unless they submitted to extensive background checks. The ban was lifted amid pressure from lawmakers and the public. A spokesperson for Speaker Gowan says under a new compromise, reporters will sign in with the chief clerk to get floor access. Gowan originally said the ban was for security purposes. Journalists who refused to submit to criminal and civil background checks covered House sessions from the public gallery, but lost access to lawmakers on the floor.
We don't operate in a vacuum. We are accountable to every single person who put us in office every day, and so he made that job incredibly difficult. And so, we're going forward. I'm certainly hopeful that he's not going to keep doing that again and making Hank Stevenson's and Howie Fisher's and other people's jobs difficult.
Secretary of State Michelle Reagan had her first of 3 meetings last night.
The meeting was an open discussion with voters about their frustration and personal experiences during the March 22nd presidential preference election.
Cronkite News reporter Jesse Schultz was at the meeting.
Voter suppression the whole time.
Secretary of State Michelle Reagan nodded and responded as each person came forward to voice their frustrations over the presidential preference election. The March election, organized by the Maricopa County Recorder's Office, was deemed a disaster by some due to the lack of polling places and excessively long lines voters had to wait in.
I was quite disappointed.
People are blaming the system for what individuals are doing, such as Helen Purcell.
The integrity of the very democratic process.
How many more times is this going to happen?
The meeting was held at the Cartwright School District headquarters. Voters were asked to fill out forms with their experience so that Reagan's office can try to prevent the fiasco from happening again. Lydia Hernandez commends Reagan for listening and trying to fix the mistakes.
How often do we have a Secretary of State coming out to our barrio, to our neighborhood? We haven't had it. So the attention and the fact that she was out here to me, doing her due diligence and making sure that she gets enough feedback, I love that.
Ted Montego, a native of Arizona and a veteran, said he couldn't wait in the long lines and in turn didn't get to cast his ballot.
We should have the privilege to vote, which we were denied. Who's responsible for this? I don't know.
Superintendent of Cartwright School District offered his own solution for the future.
We would be willing to offer 20 of our schools to be polling places.
Reagan seemed grateful for the offer and the stories shared. In Phoenix, Jesse Schultz, Cronkite News.
The U.S. Justice Department is also looking into the presidential preference election to see if Arizona complied with voting rights.
Reagan's next meeting will be held tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. at the Church of the Beatitudes on 7th Avenue and Glendale.
In Washington today, more big demands, this time from protesters angry about the influence of big money in politics.
Cronkite News reporter Wafa Shahid was there to talk with protesters, including one who came all the way from Tucson to make his voice heard.
Thousands of activists are continuing a 7-day protest which began yesterday at the Capitol. They marched here from Philadelphia and some came from even farther away.
I'm here to save our democracy.
He was part of the lively crowd that gathered outside the steps of the Capitol to protest the role of money in politics. The Democracy Spring rally began 10 days ago at the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, where they began their march all the way to the Capitol at Washington, D.C.
Money is overwhelming the popular vote. It's very frightening, and we've got to stop it.
The message was clear: reclaim democracy and take big money out of politics.
One vote can represent one person individually, and not multiple votes and more power representing people with more money.
Many activists were arrested, but this didn't stop the masses from singing and dancing for the cause. The protesters are planning mass nonviolent sit-ins and protests at the Capitol for the next week, according to the Democracy Spring website. Reporting live in Washington, I'm Wafa Shahid, Cronkite News.
Also in Washington today, President Obama addressing the wage gap in the workforce. Equal pay has been a big policy platform for the president, and he tied today's push to an event celebrating a new national monument honoring the National Women's Party. During the event, Obama encouraged a level playing field for everyone in the workforce.
Now, if we truly value fairness, then America should be a level playing field where everyone who works hard gets a chance to succeed. And that's good for America, because we don't want some of our best players on the sidelines.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says he is not looking to accept the Republican presidential nomination at a possible contested convention.
At a press conference today, the Speaker quelled any rumors that he was looking to make a behind-the-scenes push for the nomination. The former vice presidential nominee has repeatedly denied any interest in the nomination. Some members of the GOP establishment are looking for an alternative to billionaire frontrunner Donald Trump, who has more than half of the delegates needed to secure a nomination.
Count me out. I simply believe that if you want to be the nominee for our party, to be the president, you should actually run for it. I chose not to do this. Therefore, I should not be considered, period, end of story.
A new study suggests business owners from across the country may want to set sights on Arizona. Lauren Clark in our Washington bureau tells us why our state is such a business haven.
The American Legislative Exchange, in its annual study, cites lower taxes, fewer regulations, and right-to-work laws. All reasons, Jonathan Williams says.
Arizona did rank 5th this year in the Rich States, Poor States study.
One reason for this, says Williams, is state lawmakers' reluctance to pass regulations, making it much easier to conduct businesses in Arizona than elsewhere.
If they were to follow the Arizona formula, California would probably be in much better shape than they have for the last decade.
But this formula isn't convincing for Ross Eisenbray at the Economic Policy Institute. He argues the term economic freedom is ironic.
Whose freedom are we talking about? The freedom to be safe from being killed in an industrial accident, the freedom of people, school children, not to be poisoned.
Eisenbray says just because these laissez-faire policies are enticing to businesses doesn't mean it's good for everyone.
It's not good for working people, and there are a lot more working people than there are business owners.
But Williams points to what business people can provide: plenty of revenue and jobs.
Because where do you think at the end of the day those dollars are going to come from? They're going to come from the private sector, whether it's an individual or a business.
Reporting in Washington, Lauren Clark, Cronkite News.
Arizona is open for business, but 2/3 of jobs created today require post-high school education. A new report by the Lumina Foundation says that doesn't necessarily mean a degree, though. Reporter Maricela Ramirez is in Washington with the details.
Chris Bustamante of Rio Salado Community College isn't worried only 2/3 of community college students receive a degree. He said at a panel discussion that the other third receive certificates in high-paying industries like IT, nuclear generating facilities, and healthcare.
Over 70% of all of the nurses in Arizona come from the community colleges or are trained in the community colleges. And then there are all other kinds of professions and certifications within healthcare that provide a lot of flexibility for workers and also higher wage jobs.
Arizona's achievement rate remains average compared to the states, but it was reported the Phoenix area had the nation's 4th lowest number of adults with college degrees in a metro region. Bustamante says that adults that fall into the some college category could be the reason.
I think we have over 900,000 people with some college credits and no degrees. So we've got to reach out to more of those adult learners who dropped out of college to try to get them back into college.
Bustamante said he believes Arizona can reach a 60% rate of secondary education among Americans and that community colleges take all comers looking to further their secondary education.
And I think we can get there if we're really creative about getting into the communities and partnering more with our industries to create more of these certificate programs that lead not only to certificates but to degree attainment as well.
The Lumina report says the state has more to do than just improve the overall attainment rate. It has to close the gaps in attainment by race and ethnicity too. Reporting in Washington, Maricela Ramirez, Cronkite News.
Arizona might not be the first place you think of when someone says earthquake country.
But experts say that's a misconception. Coming up on Cronkite News, how the Arizona Geological Survey is tracking every little shake Arizona gets, whether we feel it or not.
And the medical marijuana business is soaring, and Arizona has a plan to keep up with the demand.
The true measure of all our actions is how long the good in them lasts.
This is who I am, where I'm from.
If you're on the right side of history, you can accomplish anything.
It's a connection between your present and your past.
Come this way. This is good. This is very good.
We are attempting to fulfill the promise of America.
The stories about who we are shape us.
This chance to go through a time machine.
Good heavenly days.
We should know our history.
It informs, but it doesn't constrict you.
It's a framework to carry out human activity.
The sky is the limit.
It started a long time ago.
For only the third time in the award's 74-year history, a Phoenix-based news operation wins the prestigious Alfred I. DuPont Columbia Award for Excellence in Broadcast Journalism. And this year, that news operation is Cronkite News, the news division of Arizona PBS, honored for its work on the groundbreaking documentary, Hooked, Tracking Heroin's Hold on Arizona. Cronkite News at Arizona PBS, award-winning journalism you can count on from the station you trust.
Arizona has seen a swarm of small earthquakes in recent weeks. Cronkite News reporter Nick Pope went to Tucson to learn more about the movements, how they happened, and how they are being tracked.
Earthquakes have been popping up more frequently in Arizona over the past couple of weeks, and their sizes have been unusually large on the magnitude scale.
We've seen them as low as a magnitude 0.7, less than 1. And then on here the other day we saw 2.6, and now overnight we saw 2.7.
The earthquakes have been taking place in the area of two well-known active faults, the Mesquite Fault and the Grand Wash Fault.
That's one of the things these earthquakes will help us evaluate. Are the faults that they're occurring on now active faults that we hadn't recognized? Are there new faults that we hadn't seen or hadn't reached the surface?
With the earthquakes swarming up around the state, most of their activity is tracked right here at the Geological Survey in Tucson, Arizona.
We now think we can capture and identify every magnitude 3 earthquake in Arizona and larger.
We've had 3 or 4 major or moderate-sized earthquakes in Arizona over the past 5 to 7 years. The one that probably received the most attention was the magnitude 5.3. That was June of 2014 in Duncan on the eastern border of Arizona.
Experts like Dr. Lee Elson advise that it is time for Arizonans to change their attitudes towards the matter.
Arizona does have earthquakes. We don't know a lot about all of them. We're trying to learn more, but you shouldn't go on pretending or hoping that we don't live in earthquake country. We do.
While the earthquakes have been alarming those around the state, the people at the AZ Geological Survey are using the opportunity to prepare us for future events. In Tucson, Nick Pope, Cronkite News.
Another earthquake of magnitude 3.0 was reported earlier this morning in Clifton near southeast Arizona.
The number of qualifying medical marijuana patients in Arizona has increased nearly 30% in the last year alone. Reporter Chloe Nordquist has more on how the Arizona Department of Health Services is accommodating the growth.
Encanto Green Cross Dispensary in Phoenix has seen sales increase 35% per month. The business opened for medical marijuana patients in July 2013 and has grown to see 400 to 600 patients a day.
We're real people helping real people, and we care about the patients.
Nick Quiaris recently bought more land for production. This summer, Encanto Green Cross will begin greenhouse cultivation in addition to its indoor facility. Medical marijuana sales in Arizona are budding. In January 2015, 2,252 pounds of marijuana were sold. This January, sales increased to over 3,900 pounds.
We've seen a pretty steady growth. I think at this time we're just over 90,000 qualifying patients. At this time last year, we were right around 65,000 qualifying patients.
In 2010, voters approved a medical marijuana system, allowing 126 dispensaries across the state based on geographic areas. Only 100 dispensaries were established during the initial allocation in 2012, leaving 26 certificates available. The Arizona Department of Health Services is taking applications for these spots this summer, but this time they're basing the locations on patient density.
We're looking at patient density within 10 miles of the proposed address, factoring in existing dispensaries within 10 miles as well.
For business owners like Quiaris, the addition of more dispensaries may or may not affect his business.
It depends on the particular areas that are needed. Wherever the patients are needed is where they're going to allow them to be at.
In Phoenix, Chloe Nordquist, Cronkite News.
Information on dispensary applications and areas will be available on the Arizona Department of Health Services website this summer. Valley residents have 14,000 acres right in their backyard.
Coming up on Cronkite News, South Mountain Regional Park has been around for almost a century, but many people don't realize what a hidden gem it can be.
And Tempe Town Lake is ready to be filled to the brim again, just in time for the warmer weather after its recent renovations.
We are here tonight to explore tough issues.
You've got to have people around you who aren't just laying rose petals in front of your way.
And I kid you not, this is true.
Trust is everything.
This has been so much fun.
It's about reaching people.
There are more players on the world stage. The issues are more complex.
We ask the questions that take us closer to the truth.
What happened and what might happen.
Because that's what we do.
Would you like doing something like I do?
I couldn't do this. I'm not qualified. I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Governor Doug Ducey is proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. The Arizona Child Abuse Hotline received more than 135,000 calls just last year. Cronkite News reporter Sydney Schofield learned more about one Arizona program that is looking to give a voice to those children.
It gives children in foster care a chance to have a bright future.
20 new court-appointed special advocates, or CASAs, were sworn in this weekend. These volunteers act as advocates for children in foster care.
Their case manager could change, their GAL could change, their social worker could change, but you're the only adult that stays with them throughout the whole process.
Providing some consistency in their lives, CASAs spend time with them each month and write reports that go directly to a judge.
CASAs are the eyes and the ears of the judge. They don't have a horse per se in the race.
As they have a more objective voice, CASAs are able to advocate solely for the child, ignoring other interests that are sometimes involved in child abuse cases.
We work tirelessly to help them find that forever safe home that they're entitled to, where they can thrive and break the cycle of abuse.
There are around 1,000 CASAs in Arizona, but with more than 18,000 of Arizona's kids in foster care, the program is actively looking for more volunteers.
There's so much need out there, and there's so many children that are without a true voice for their own needs and their own circumstance.
It's a wonderful way to make a difference, to invest in the future, because children are our most important natural resource.
And these new CASAs are ready to take on that challenge. In Phoenix, Sydney Schofield, Cronkite News.
If you are interested in becoming a CASA, you can learn more about the program at azcourts.gov/CASA. After a 2-month break, Tempe Town Lake is ready to be filled once again. Back in February, the lake was drained to replace the temporary rubber bladder put in after the dam broke in 2010. SRP says the water was stored in the Salt Rivers Canal system and will go through the storm drains in Tempe until flowing back into the lake. Henry Sanchez and his grandkids are excited to finally do something that they haven't done before.
They've never been fishing before, you know, so it'd be nice to finally bring them out here and teach them how to fish. Yeah, it kind of doesn't look like much right now, you know, but hopefully in 2 weeks it's going to look a lot better.
Hiking, biking, and trail riding, all common activities you can enjoy in one of the largest urban parks in America. Cronkite News reporter Elena Mendoza takes us to South Mountain Park to learn more about the history behind this Phoenix gem.
You come out, you do a hike, within minutes you feel like you're miles away from the city.
South Mountain Park offers wilderness right in the middle of Phoenix. It took only $20,000 nearly a century ago to make this regional treasure possible. The city purchased about 14,000 acres after citizens were persistent in asking the federal government to preserve the land.
To give you an idea of what that is, it was $1.25 per acre.
The land was then developed by Civilian Conservation Corps workers in the 1930s as a work program during the Depression.
They had 200 men living here in the park, basically building the road, building trails, building our buildings.
Since then, South Mountain has expanded in size and its uses. According to the Trust for Public Land, South Mountain Park and Preserve is more than 16,000 acres and is one of the largest municipally operated parks in the country. The trails have also grown with the land, now 51 miles worth, attracting everyday bikers and hikers alike.
We can be out here and see the saguaros in bloom and these beautiful Palo Verde and these incredible rock landscapes and the views over the city. It's incredible.
Gronsess says the park also attracts horse riders, bird watchers, picnickers, and hang gliders.
We get all kinds of usage out here.
Even if you've never set foot on South Mountain, you can recognize it by its line of towers at the top of the peaks, day or night. In Phoenix, Elena Mendoza, Cronkite News.
And though South Mountain didn't quite make the cut, you can watch the PBS special 10 Parks That Changed America tonight at 7 here on Arizona PBS.
The word childhood means something different these days. Instead of gathering around the block and playing kick the can, iPad games and a couch are usually more preferred by today's children. Reporter Zizung tells us how new funding from the U.S. Department of Interior could soon change that here in Phoenix.
There's no lazy Saturday morning for these local students in Phoenix. They're busy shoveling and planting trees in the desert landscape. It's all part of Let's Move Outside, a new program from First Lady Michelle Obama's Let's Move initiative, aimed at getting kids nationwide to be more active outdoors and eat healthier.
Hey everybody, you know, getting active every day helps us all be healthy and feel great.
And now Phoenix is one of the first 50 cities to participate in this initiative. Funded by American Express, a total of $5 million will help kids in the selected cities to use less this and more this. The program will also create job opportunities, according to the Department of Interior.
Oftentimes seasonal work opportunities with conservation corps like the Arizona Conservation Corps that's here today, but really looking at ways to create work opportunities, caring for our public lands for young adults, graduating, or college students, as well as returning veterans to our country.
Mayor Greg Stanton says Phoenix is a natural fit for the program.
But look at it, just go around the city, go to South Mountain, beautiful South Mountain, the largest municipal park in the world is in Phoenix, Arizona. Go to Cowback Mountain, Piestewa Peak, North Mountain. We have such beautiful desert preserves.
And a small army of youngsters helping to preserve them. In Phoenix, Zizung, Cronkite News.
The Let's Move Outside program will also build a coalition with local partners such as the YMCA. For more information on this story, you can go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Tonight, Arizona PBS will air part 2 of a documentary by Ken Burns about Jackie Robinson and the challenges he faced throughout his life. Before he broke the color barrier in baseball with the Dodgers, Robinson got one of his first tastes of discrimination as an athlete here in Phoenix in 1937 as a junior college football player. Robinson had to stay in an African-American boarding house like this one when his Pasadena Junior College team came to play against Phoenix Junior College. Robinson and his other African-American teammates were not allowed to stay in the same hotel as the team's white members. Now used for offices, the one-time Swindle House is the last building of its kind still standing in the city.
It definitely was an insult, to get kicked out of a hotel like the Westward Ho or the Adams Hotel in downtown Phoenix. These were prestigious addresses that civic leaders and politicians would stay at when they came through, but Jackie Robinson and his teammates, when they came through, could not stay there. So to be shuffled off to a boarding house or to a host family when you're traveling through, definitely made people feel like second-class citizens.
The story of Robinson's fierce fight for integration and equality, both on and off the sports fields, continues tonight here on Arizona PBS. Part 2 of the Jackie Robinson documentary airs at 8 p.m.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, hear how the city of Chandler is testing self-driving cars. And we'll talk about presidential candidate Donald Trump and authoritarianism. That's on the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour, a New York City program that promises to double graduation rates at community colleges. That's Tuesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.